Hi everyone, my name's Andrew. I'm an Oracle DBA and I've been an Oracle DBA for the last 11 years. I also enjoy making YouTube videos and video content, and today this video is going to show you how to upgrade an Oracle database from 19.3 to 19.8. And the process and how to do that using the OPatch tool. This is a video for beginner DBAs or people that are looking to refresh their memory if you're going to be undertaking an upgrade project soon. So I hope you enjoy the video. Please let me know how you get on with the video. The video is set out into various small steps, so it shouldn't be too difficult to follow, but please let me know how you find it. It'll go through downloading the patches required, it'll go through checking for conflicts, it'll teach you how to stop an Oracle database, it'll teach you how to patch an Oracle database, start the Oracle database, and then performing any post-patch steps that are involved when applying the patch to the Oracle database. Thanks very much for watching this introduction to the video, and I hope to see you on the other side. Bye. Today I'll show you how to patch an Oracle database using OPatch. In this patching process, I'll show you how to upgrade your database from 19.3 to the latest version when I'm recording this, which is July 2020, and the version upgrading to will be 19.8. So to patch an Oracle database, it's a relatively simple process, and it's a particular step of steps that you need to follow, and it's not particularly difficult once you've done it once or twice. So the steps that you need to follow are, you need to download the patches, you need to upload the patches to the server where the database is running, you need to check for conflicts against the patch to make sure that the patch you want to apply doesn't conflict with any existing patches already in the database. We then need to stop the database, then we're going to patch the database, finally we start the database, and then we perform any post-patch steps. So first things first, we need to download the patches, and that can be done from the My Oracle Support website. If you don't have an account at My Oracle Support, it is free, you can do it. The only thing, if you won't be able to get support from Oracle, but the actual creation of an account is free. The patch that we are going to be applying here in the video is patch 313262. You can search up in the top corner. This patch is the July 2020 CU patch, which contains a number of bug fixes. Our database is running on Linux x86-4. This is the patch we're going to be doing. It's 1.4 gig, and you make sure the platform is correct here. Then you can click download the patch. And it might take a little bit of time to download based on your internet speed, but for me I've got quite reasonable internet, so it's not going to take. So while the patch downloads, we can check off the first step, what's involved in patching an Oracle database. So we've downloaded the patches. Next thing we're going to do is check for conflict. So now I've uploaded my patch to the server. I need to unzip the patch. Maybe take a minute or two. And we're going to be checking for conflicts against the Oracle database that's here, just to make sure there's no existing patches already applied that conflict with this new patch that we're going to. If you do find there is a conflict, you might want to remove that conflict, apply this patch, and then reapply your conflicting patch. There could also be a conflict if this patch fixes a bug that you already have a smaller patch for. Now we have patch unzipped, navigate into the patching directory, and we've got a database running on this host already. And let me just load the Oracle environment to be sure. This patch actually contains two patches. This video will only apply the database patch, so that's 312. So now we're in the patching directory. We need to check for patch conflicts. Now you check for patch conflicts using OPatch, and OPatch can be found in the Oracle Home directory. I just want to make sure that Oracle Home is set. It is. And so Oracle Home and OPatch. Run OPatch, OPatch. We're going to check for conflicts, so we're going to run a prerequisite check conflict against OHW with detail. I'll post all these commands as well, but Let me just leave that on screen for a second before I run it. So we're on OPatch, prerequisite, check for conflict against Oracle Home with detail, then the -patch home, the -ph means patch home, and the patch home, the / refers this current directory we're in. If I check for conflicts, go away and do the check for me. Excellent, there's been no conflicts, so we can now move on to the next stage of the patching process. If we go back to the steps involved, we've now downloaded the patches, we've checked for conflicts, we're now going to stop the database, sorry. So if I just flip back to my terminal, just make sure the database is up, it is plus sysdba, and we're just going to stop this database immediately. Shut down, immediate, stop the database. The database always needs to be stopped to apply bundle patches. As you can see, the database version is currently 19.3, and this patching process will upgrade the database from 19.3 to 19.8, which as the time of recording this video is the latest version of 19.8. Now the database is stopped, I just want to stop the database listener. You just stop the listener to ensure there's no further connections into the Oracle database. So now we've stopped the Oracle database and the Oracle listener, and we're about to get ready to start patching. So now we've downloaded the patches, we've checked for conflicts, and we've stopped the database. Next we need to patch the database. I'm just going to move back to my terminal, and you patch a database around OPatch apply, and this will apply patch 3128135 to this Oracle database, which will upgrade the Oracle database from version 19.3 to 19.8. The pre-checks have passed. Do you want to proceed with patch? Yes, I do. Is the system ready for patching? Yes, because the Oracle listener is down and the Oracle database is down. So yes, the database is ready for patching. And now it's started to apply the database patch to the Oracle database. And this will take a minute or two to apply. Patching time can vary depending on how large the patch is. Some can be very fast, some take 5 or 10 minutes. Now it's started to patch the Oracle database. I'm running this on a virtual machine for this example, so it is a little slower. If you are running it on a production database system, you might find it goes much faster. And as you can see, the patching's really kicked off now, and it's patching each individual component of the Oracle database, applying bug fixes, security issues to the Oracle database. I must mention that this is a CPU patch, critical patch update that I'm applying that upgrades the database from 19.3 to 19.8. A critical patch update contains security fixes and bug fixes. It does not introduce any new functionality to the Oracle database. It is merely fixing security loopholes and existing bugs. So there's no new functionality brought to the Oracle database when I'm upgrading it from 19.3 to 19.8. So if you do have an application connected to this Oracle database, just a small amount of testing to confirm everything on the application side looks okay, but there's no new functionality, no massive changes to the Oracle database. It's just fixing existing bugs and applying security patches, so you don't need to worry massively about application side testing. There's not been a huge amount of change on the database. So now our patch is applied successfully. We now need to move into final stage, which is post-patch steps. So now we've patched the Oracle database, we now need to start the Oracle database. I just bring back my terminal. I will start the listener first of all, lsnr start, and our listener's just called listener in this case. Obviously there's no database running at the moment, so the listener doesn't really do anything. If we log back into SQL plus sysdba, sysdba, we're connected to an idle instance, and if we run startup, so at the moment we have just applied the patches to the Oracle home. We've not actually activated the patch within the database. Now that our database is started, we just go back to our checklist. We've now started the Oracle database, and the final stage is to do post-patch steps. So post-patch steps are data patch. And data patch just applies the patch changes to the Oracle database. Data patch exists in the same location as OPatch, just called data patch. And you can call it in verbose mode if you like to see what it's doing, but it's just applying all the SQL changes and the bug fixes to the Oracle database itself. When we apply the patch, we're only changing the Oracle Home binaries. We're applying the patch to the Oracle Home files, and then we run data patch to activate and apply changes within the Oracle database. The data patch that is generally quite fast to run, and it is applying the patch. Now that data patch is applied, we can see that the binary version was 19.8 is now going and applying the SQL changes, the database changes for 19.8 to the 19.3 database, which in the end will result in us having a 19.8 Oracle database. So we are upgrading from 19.3 release update 19th, so that's 10th of April 2019 to 19.8, which is the 30th of July 2000. So we have almost a year's worth of patches are being applied in this stage. As I said before, this is just a virtual machine that I'm running on, so if you're running it on an actual physical system or a cloud-based database, you would expect this to go much faster. Still applying the Oracle database patches. As I said before, this is a virtual machine that I'm showing you this on. And now the patches have been completed. It's now just checking in the log file for any errors or issues experienced while patching. And it's found no errors. See, it's checked each every log file and found no errors, no errors, no errors. So the patching is now completed. I'll log into the Oracle database. So congratulations, you reached the end of the videos. Thank you very much for watching these. I hope you really enjoyed them. If you've got any feedback at all, please let me know. Get in contact, let me know how you found the videos. This is my first video, so I'm going to be working on making the whole system better as I progress and learn more things about how to go and do it. So please, 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 if you've got any feedback, please let me know and get in contact. So my challenge for you, now that you've reached the end of this video, is to go away and patch an Oracle database yourself. Whether you are just applying a one-off patch that's not upgrading the database, or whether you're upgrading the database like I did from 19.3 to 19.8, you can do that and let me know how you get on. When I recorded this video, July 2020 was the latest patch that was available from Oracle. Oracle Corporation do release patches every 3 months, so come October and then January and so on every 3 months afterwards, there is going to be a new patch, but the same steps from this video do apply still. They can still be followed. And the same as well, I use 19C database in my example. This patching process and the steps included in this video will also work on 12C as well. It'll work on 18C and future versions of Oracle 20C, if it's called that. Anyway, Oracle 20, it will work 21. And also, if you are going back as far as 11G or 10G, the steps will still be mostly the same. Post-patch steps are slightly different, so just pay attention there. But the majority of this video, the steps are still the same. So once again, thanks very much for watching this course. I do hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you have any feedback whatsoever, please get in touch and let me know how you found it. And if you're stuck or have any problems, feel free to contact me. I can try and help you out. Yeah, please do not hesitate to contact me in any way. And I wish you good luck in your Oracle database and DBA journey. Speak to you soon. Goodbye. Bye.